Thanks for joining us, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Leopard Basketball Award Show. I'm Bo McCaslin, and joining me is head basketball coach Jake Lee. The past year, well, Coach, it's been a wild one and a challenging ride for everyone. Luckily, last year, basketball was able to get their season in before the pandemic hit, but this past season, it really had a huge impact. It was a year where everyone really got creative and made some major adjustments to get the kids back on the court and involved in athletics again. An example is us being right here in the studio. Last year we weren't able to have a sports banquet because of COVID. The Leopard Booster Club this year had the great idea of creating an award show for each sport. And right here, we're here for the basketball award show today. And like I said, a challenging year this past year. I know it had to be a challenging year for you, your staff, and your guys.
Yeah, of course, when we get to talking about adjustments, a lot of times we're talking about our kids being able to adjust certain things we're throwing at them. It was an adjustment year for everybody: coaches, bus drivers, administration, even the fans. And we appreciate everybody that kind of helped us out. And a lot of parents, a lot of family members that were way off that a lot of times couldn't go and see us, but they worked with us and made this thing as, I guess, painless as it could be. It's still. There were times that it was not fun,
right.
And but I couldn't think of a better group of guys to go through it with, and we were able to go through without much of a hitch this year. A lot of young guys, me and Coach Bradshaw and Coach Bell, we all got to work together this year, which was a lot of fun, and we talked about it on multiple occasions that these guys, with any other group, it probably would have been a year to forget quickly, but the young guys that we had, most teams that have sophomores and some juniors don't ever get to touch the floor.
Right.
And we had a young team this year, and a lot of these guys got a lot of invaluable experience. So it was, the amount of buy-in from everybody, sophomore to senior, even down through our 7th grade, was amazing. Coach Bradshaw, this was his first year here with us. He did a great job developing a bunch of guys, and we did that in junior high too. We had mostly 8th graders that got our critical minutes. So both teams, junior high and senior high, next year are going to be very experienced, and we're excited moving forward.
Good deal. When you look back at this past season, I mean, there were weeks where you weren't even getting to play when you should be playing. Unique challenges for this year, but when you look back, what were some of the things that stood out that make you proud of your guys?
Man, like I said, the buy-in, and in the face of adversity, the buy-in that we got. A lot of times when things start getting tough, that's kind of when your true character's revealed, especially in athletics. And I was proud of our guys. We had a couple opportunities to kind of go separate ways, and we turned towards each other, took care of each other. Like you said, there were some weeks where we didn't play. Starting right before Christmas break, we played our second conference game against Malvern. And played well, went on the road. We didn't play. We played 2 games in the next 31 days. Wow. And that's from cancellations over Christmas break. One of them was our team related. Others were the other team was quarantined. And after that, as far as quarantines go, it was literally a day-by-day process, which is uncharted territory for basketball. You got injuries here and there, but never in my life as a basketball fan, coach, player, have I seen kids being pulled out of practice and sent home, and we're supposed to play tomorrow, and I'm having to call a coach and say, man, I'm sorry, but we can't come. And so for the kids to progress the way that they did, I say kids, they're young men now, and they held it together better than I did at sometimes, So I love our guys, love our staff, and everybody at our school and in our community makes it so easy to work here. And like I said, anywhere else it would have been real tough. And but this year, these guys made it bearable, and I was disappointed to be done. And you would think in a tough year that you're like, all right, I'm ready, but man, I thought we had it there at the end. So these guys improving throughout the year, buy-in and fighting the adversity like we talked about. It was a fun group to watch progress throughout the year. And I think we went 3/4 of the year without a full roster. at one point this guy's hurt, at another point this guy's hurt, and we finally got our whole roster together when it came district tournament time, which was a good time, and we we gave them a fight. We had a lead going into halftime, and it just fell a little short at the end. But again, it's an invaluable experience for our young guys.
Good deal, good deal. I know you're proud of your guys, and we're going to honor some of those guys right now by starting off announcing the basketball awards for 2020. And the first one we're announcing is the Sixth Man Award, and this award goes to a young man who really stepped up for you in a big way before the season started.
Yeah, again, we start talking about this quarantine stuff, which is going to sound like a broken record, I guess, talking about this year. But we, before season started, we weren't sure how many guys we were going to have, what football was going to do. So we had 5 guys in the gym. And so we went and we tried to recruit a few guys that were in off-season sports that weren't playing football, guys that might have played for us before, and Brentley was one of those guys. And, he had played for me before. Hadn't got a whole lot of playing time, solid baseball player. He had made the decision to kind of move on and go to baseball. And the one thing I knew going to Brentley was that what we were going to get from him. We were going to get everything he had, and there wasn't going to be a job too big or too small for him. And when you go looking at awards, we had the discussion as coaches that Brentley qualifies for just about every award we have because of that. And we went with Sixth Man because Sixth Man is a very selfless award. And you've got to be willing to make sacrifices. And there's some nights where Brentley started for us, some nights he come off the bench, and there's some nights where he didn't play much at all. And as a coach, you want kids to understand that, hey, tonight's matchup was kind of the way. And I couldn't ever get it out of my mouth. Brentley was like, Coach, you're right. This is what we needed tonight, and which just makes you want to give him more awards, and take care of the kids. So Brentley wound up being our Sixth Man of the Year this year. He, like I said, started for the first part of the year, started coming off the bench for us, depending on lineups and matchups. He usually drew one of the toughest guards. He got to go out and find the other guy's best player and make life unpleasant for them. So he did his job for us, and another guy that without him this year, man, it was completely different. So I not only appreciate Brentley for coming out and giving us the effort he did, but I know all those guys do, and he'll forever be a part of us. So love Brentley, and no more deserving guy, person, player, whatever you want to put to him, than to get that Sixth Man of the Year award. So
we say congratulations to Brentley. And next up is your Most Improved Award. And Coach, we always talk about how important it is for kids to be coachable. There's no doubt sophomore Monroe Barnett, he's a coachable guy.
Man, and again, when we go back and talk about this season, this was the hardest award to figure out because so many young guys progressed as we went throughout the season. And Monroe was another guy that was very much like Brentley, that usually got one of the toughest guards. Like you're going to go find the guy that is their best player. A little story about Monroe. We actually, when we're playing bauxite here, doing a great job against their guy, and he goes and he's made a couple tough shots and whatnot. And when we come out of halftime, he asked me, do I need to do anything better? And I just looked at the book and I said, well, Monroe, you're not doing a very good job. He's got 12 points. And I was kind of messing with him, told him, man, you're doing a good job making him work for everything. That was one of the games we had to play back-to-back nights. He didn't score for the next 3 quarters. And so Monroe took it to heart. And it's one of those awards that, you want to give it to everybody who showed improvement. But as far as a guy that moving from junior high to high school, I didn't know if he was going to be able to give us minutes other than just a defensive effort. But the guy worked all summer long. He came up and took shots on our shoot away and spent hours in the gym working by himself, when there's nobody in the stands. And it showed because he became a legitimate shooting threat. And like I said, just the way that dude comes in and works, no more deserving guy, again, for most improved than Monroe.
Good deal. We say congratulations to Monroe, and we move to the Leopard Pride Award. And Coach, we're going to let you announce this winner. And as you do, explain what goes into the selection of the Leopard Pride Award.
Well, Leopard Pride's something that I've heard ever since I've been here. And I'm, at first when I got here, I was like, Leopard Pride, okay, that's cute. And then the more I got around, the more I heard it, and the more the community is bought into Leopard Pride. And I thought, that's got to go on an award somewhere. Right. And, some of the other coaches do a Leopard Pride Award as well. But for me, Leopard Pride is somebody who embodies what we want in our program for each and every kid. Come to work and, not necessarily the guy that is going to go out and lead you in scoring and be the guy that we're calling plays for every single time down the floor. But this guy actually wound up being one of those guys at times that we were trying to get shots for. And again, the Leopard Pride, is kind of the work you put in to show your pride in your school and your team and your family and all this kind of stuff. And Nathan Patterson got that award this year for us. And if you know Nathan, he don't say a lot. He's a quiet guy, but his game speaks volumes. And the dude will come in and he will work his tail off from beginning to end. And if you're not pushing him, he will let you know. It's like, Coach, I could do better. Let me go again. And he led us in charges this year, which him and Manny Hernandez, two sophomores that come into the senior high season and lead you in charges taken. You talk about a selfless play. You have to stand there and let somebody run you over in what most people do not consider a contact sport, which, by the way, it is, in case anybody's wondering. But we go in, and those two guys are leading charge takers and changed games with charges they took. And Nathan, like I said, as quiet as he is, you don't expect him to be the guy on the floor, and he's taking charges. He's attempting to take charges, changing the game, and just his overall demeanor. He stays calm. The moment's never too big for him. The way he goes about his business, the quality individual that he is, again, no more deserving person for something with Leopard Pride attached to it than Nathan Patterson.
Congratulations, Nathan. And next up, Coach, we're going to announce the selections to the All-Conference and All-State teams. You had 3 players selected to the 7-4A All-Conference team. First on the list is sophomore Manny Hernandez.
Yeah, and again, like I said earlier, to be a sophomore and come in and lead us in charges taken, as far as, may not be the guy getting the ball in his hand every time down the floor, but finds a way to affect the game positively for our team. Manny wound up with 7.8 points and 4.3 rebounds per game. And again, as a sophomore, those are great numbers. Those are good numbers anyways. But to come in and not have a single minute of senior high experience and to give us those kind of numbers is incredible. And he's another guy that came up with Monroe, him, Cooper Young, Monroe, Nathan Patterson, guys that we saw constantly in the gym all summer long, and it showed. Right. Again, Manny became a guy that was, when Will went down with an injury, became a guy that we started looking to more often, and he produced for us. And we didn't know. You never know with sophomores how they're going to respond to those situations. And like I said, we gave it to him and said, "Let's see what you got." And many compliments from people of, "I didn't know Manny was that good." Right. And when other people start seeing it is when you start. Okay, I'm glad other people are seeing it. And proud of him, just like all these other guys, but another guy that greatly improved, and couldn't be more happier that the coaches selected him to be on the all-star team, or all-conference team, and another just deserving guy. Very proud of him, happy for him.
Good deal. Congratulations, Manny. And the second player selected is all-conference. We mentioned his name earlier, Nathan Patterson.
Nathan Patterson, and it's not very often you see a Leopard Pride go to a guy that's all conference, but again, just the way that dude works. Nathan Patterson, he wound up averaging 8.6 points and 5.3 rebounds for us. And, Nathan is a guy that, another one that we weren't sure coming in, another sophomore that we thought, man, hopefully knock down some shots. And he played such a bigger role than just that. And so Nathan Patterson was a breath of fresh air for us. He wound up playing post position for us, and usually if somebody had a good post player, he drew that defensive assignment, because our other two guys were kind of smaller, chase guards around, and a lot of times, one thing I can brag on him is he did his work early, and when it comes to guarding people, sometimes you've got to beat them to spots and, kind of outsmart them by the way you do it. And Nathan's an incredibly smart young man, and it shows on the basketball floor too, and he developed a lot of basketball IQ. And so, again, glad that the coaches were able to recognize him.
Good deal, good deal. And finally, we have a young man who was selected to the All-Conference team as well as honorable mention to the All-State team. Coach, unfortunately, an ankle injury brought his season to an early end, but despite a limited number of games, junior Will Dykes, he put up some impressive numbers.
Oh, very impressive. He finished with 20.4 points, 9.3 rebounds, nearly 5 assists and 2 steals. And again, just a junior. So, he's got a lot of upside. It hurt this year with COVID and the way things worked out, that when his ankle injury hit, we were having to make up some games. So there were 3 different coaches that didn't get to see the guy play this year, and he still wound up top 4 vote getters get All-State, and he was 5th. So without being able to play those coaches, he still wound up very close to being All-State. And again, just another deserving guy. And I think Tim Duncan once said, when your best players are your leaders, you start to establish great culture. And Will Dykes is a huge part of the culture and the turnaround of culture that we've had here with our boys program. A guy that, again, comes to work every day, gets guys to come work with him every day, and he'll be the first guy in line to do a drill. And if he doesn't do it right, you better believe he wants to go again until we get it right. And like I said, when your best players are doing that, that's when you start seeing trickle-down effect. And, everybody in our program loves being around Will. Great kid, just like I could say about any guy in our program right now. I would have no problem sending them off to represent us somewhere. And I'm glad. Not very often you see 3 guys on a last-place team that get voted into all-conference, especially one for honorable mention. But, it's hard to argue for any 3 of those guys to not be voted in. And, I appreciate the coaches for, recognizing that kind of stuff. And I'm happy for our guys and excited to move forward with them.
Good deal, good deal. Congratulations to all of our winners. And we want to say a big thank you to all the players for their commitment and hard work during a challenging year. And before we go Coach, just tell us a little bit about what you're excited about next season.
And again, a lot of quality reps for young guys, and invaluable experience for our sophomores, underclassmen that are going to be moving forward into bigger roles next year. And usually you go into the junior year, and a lot of guys are kind of shell-shocked, getting adjusted. We've got that out of the way. So we've got the same team basically for 2 years. We're losing Brentley and Alan Hong, but Brentley is, as far as offensively, was not one of our bigger pieces. Defensively, it's a hole that we're going to have to fill, and I wish we didn't have to. But the depth that we created this year, and then we've got a couple guys moving up from junior high that are going to fill in some spots that are very exciting times to be a Leopard boys basketball fan.
Good deal, good deal. Coach, thanks again for joining us. We wish you and your team the best of luck this next season. And as we leave you, we once again say congratulations to all of our winners. And we also want to say a big thank you to the Leopard Booster Club for all that they do for our student athletes here at the Queen. And remember, it's always a great day to be a Leopard.